The Walk of Shadows. Before we go deeper into the shadows of Russia's most terrifying fortress, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this story with those who dare to look into the eyes of darkness itself. The air outside the gates of Black Dolphin prison is so still that even the wind seems afraid to breathe. A gray sky hangs above the massive concrete compound near the border of Kazakhstan, casting long shadows over the icy ground. Beyond those steel gates lies a world that few outsiders ever see, a place built not just to contain monsters, but to erase them from existence. It's officially known as Penal Colony Number 6, but among Russians, it's whispered as Black Dolphin, the Black Dolphin. The name comes from a simple statue at the entrance, a small black dolphin carved by inmates long ago. It stands as a mocking symbol of freedom in a place where no one has any. For decades, the Black Dolphin has been home to Russia's most dangerous criminals, men who have murdered dozens, some who have eaten their victims, and others whose crimes defy logic. There are no small-time thieves here, no pickpockets, no smugglers. Every inmate is serving a life sentence. Most will die behind these walls, unseen by sunlight, unspoken by history. But among these forgotten souls, one story rises above the rest, the story of Sergei Antonov, a former police officer whose fall from hero to prisoner would shake the very core of Russian law enforcement. The fall of a lawman. Sergei had once been a decorated investigator in Moscow's organized crime division. Known for his sharp instincts and relentless pursuit of justice, he had taken down some of the capital's most notorious figures. Colleagues admired him, criminals feared him, and his name carried weight inside the ministry. But justice, in Russia, is often traded like currency, and Sergei had begun to realize that his superiors were cashing in. When he uncovered a secret trafficking operation tied to high-ranking officials, he refused to stay silent. That was his first mistake. Within weeks, he was accused of fabricating evidence, corruption, and even murder. The evidence against him was manufactured with surgical precision. A gun registered in his name was found at a crime scene. His bank accounts suddenly showed unexplained deposits. His friends vanished. By the time he understood the depth of the trap, it was too late. The same system he'd once served now condemned him. And in Russia, there's no lower form of life than a betrayed officer, especially one sentenced to Black Dolphin. The arrival. The transport van carrying Sergei to the prison drove for nearly 20 hours across frozen wastelands. He sat handcuffed, blindfolded, and silent. When the van finally stopped, he was yanked out by guards in black uniforms, his arms twisted behind his back, and his head forced downward. "Bend at 90 degrees, one guard barked in Russian. That command marked the beginning of his new existence. Every prisoner in Black Dolphin must walk bent at the waist, escorted by guards holding them by the cuffs behind their backs, a method designed to eliminate any chance of attack or escape. As he shuffled forward, he felt the weight of dozens of unseen eyes. Cameras tracked every step, every breath. The metallic clang of steel doors echoed like gunfire through the corridors. He would later learn that each inmate lives behind 3 layers of locked doors, under 24-hour surveillance, with guards rotating every 15 minutes. There are no moments alone, not even in the bathroom. When Sergei's cell door slammed shut behind him, he took his first look at his new home, a 2-by-3-meter concrete cage, lit day and night by fluorescent lights. The window was sealed with thick bars and frosted glass. He could see the faint outline of snow outside, but never the sky. On the wall, a small sign displayed the prison's only rule that mattered. No hope. No escape. The voices in the dark. The first night, Sergei couldn't sleep. The lights never went out. Somewhere down the hall, a man screamed, not from pain, but from something deeper, something that echoed through the walls like a dying memory. Inmates in Black Dolphin are forbidden from lying down during the day. They must sit or stand, hands visible, facing forward at all times. Every movement is monitored by cameras mounted in corners. Guards patrol silently, their boots thudding like metronomes of despair. Sergei began to hear whispers, stories carried through the ventilation ducts. The prisoners had developed a way to communicate through the smallest cracks in the structure. They called it the ghost line. From these voices, he learned the truth of where he was. Some inmates claimed to be political scapegoats like him, others bragged of atrocities that made his stomach twist. One man, known only as Victor the Butcher, claimed to have eaten his victims to keep them close forever. Sergei tried to ignore them, but curiosity took hold. He began to listen at night, piecing together stories, trying to understand the pattern. And that's when he heard something he wasn't supposed to. A voice, soft and deliberate, said through the vent. "They're coming for you next, Officer Antonov. The truth you buried isn't dead." Sergei froze. No one in the prison should have known his name, or the case that got him here. The game begins. Days turned into weeks, but the message haunted him. The guards treated him differently, almost too differently. They never struck him, never cursed him. Instead, they watched. Always watched. One night, his meal tray arrived later than usual. Under the slice of black bread, he found something impossible, a small piece of paper folded into a triangle. Written on it, in trembling handwriting, were 3 words. "Look under floor." His heart pounded. He waited until the patrol passed, then quietly knelt near the rusted drain beneath his bunk. Beneath a loose tile, he found a crumpled piece of metal, a badge. Not his, but familiar. It belonged to another officer, one he'd believed was murdered years ago during the same investigation that destroyed his career. The badge was scorched and bent, but the initials were clear, I.S. Igor Sokolov. The man who'd disappeared after uncovering the same corruption Sergei had tried to expose. If the badge was here, inside Black Dolphin, then someone had placed it for him to find. And that meant only one thing: Igor might still be alive, and trapped somewhere in this prison. Closing of Chapter 1. As the fluorescent lights flickered above, Sergei clenched the burned badge in his fist. Somewhere behind those walls, someone was playing a deadly game, and he had just been moved to the center of it. He didn't yet know who was pulling the strings, but one truth became clear. Black Dolphin wasn't just a prison. It was a machine built to erase truth, one life at a time.